Hello everyone, and welcome to my Royal Family Politics channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Before being brutally evicted from her Windsor home, Angela Kelly, who served as the late Queen's dresser until her death last year, wrote a cryptic Instagram story about disrespect in reference to her departure. Inside Angela Kelly's close 30-year friendship with the late Queen before the terrible eviction. In addition to working for the late monarch, 65-year-old Angela Kelly also had a lovely friendship with the late Queen. Over the course of their friendship, which lasted more than 3 decades, Angela came to be known as the Queen's gatekeeper and right-hand lady. After serving the late Queen for more than 25 years, Angela was one of the monarch's closest confidants. Express.co.uk explores the couple's strong relationship as well as Angela's recent eviction from her Windsor home in this article. After beginning her career in 1993 as the Queen's dresser, Angela Kelly served for the late monarch for more than 20 years. She was in charge of preserving, curating, and creating the Queen's wardrobe, and had the official title personal assistant, advisor, and curator to Her Majesty the Queen. After a chance encounter, the late Queen found Angela to be trustworthy. The Queen had a lot of confidence in Angela, according to holographer Rob Monday, who had previously spoken about their bond. The late monarch, according to him, totally trusted Angela to do whatever. In an interview with Hello, Monday said, "The rapport between Angela Kelly and the Queen was unbelievable, and you could just see the connection they had with each other." For Sir Christopher Malaby, the British ambassador to Germany, Angela was his housekeeper. The Queen and Prince Philip visited Malaby's house while in Germany, which resulted in an accidental encounter with Angela. The Queen apparently received a message from Angela informing her that she intended to move back to the UK and offered her the position of dresser. Before being hired, she remarked, "I suppose the Queen must have liked me and decided that I was trustworthy and discreet." The late Queen gave a distinguished medal to Angela. Those who have served the royal family are often recognized and honored with the Royal Victorian Order. Kelly was appointed a Lieutenant of the Royal Victorian Order at Buckingham Palace in November 2012. On the Queen, Angela has authored 2 books. Kelly released Dressing the Queen, The Jubilee Wardrobe, in 2012 to mark the Queen's Diamond Jubilee. Royal fashion enthusiasts were given a glimpse into several of the late Queen's most iconic looks, many of which she created. Afterward, the Queen wore one of Angela's creations to a Thanksgiving ceremony in 2012 as part of the Diamond Jubilee festivities. The Queen's light yellow dress, which she wore to the 2011 wedding of the Prince and Princess of Wales, was also created by Angela. After her first book's success, Angela followed it up 7 years later with a second. 2019 saw the publication of her book, The Other Side of the Coin, The Queen, the Dresser, and the Wardrobe. The book was filled with endearing anecdotes about the Queen, such how the late Queen polished her diamonds with gin and water. The late Queen authorized the release of both works. Evicted from her Windsor home is Angela. Angela began moving her stuff out of her Windsor home earlier this week in preparation for a new life in the north of England. In order to keep his pledge to his late mother, the King is said to have given the previous Queen's dresser a new home. The news coincides with a recent image she posted on her own Instagram page with the caption, "No matter how kind and generous you are, you'll never satisfy an ungrateful person." The same graphic also had a second quotation that read, "Learning how to remain calm when you're disrespected is a superpower." The gift of a new home does seem to have a cost, as Kelly is no longer able to talk about her friendship with Queen Elizabeth. Thought to act as a pension for her years of faithful devotion to the royal family, it is believed that the late Queen gave Angela lieutenant permission to publish one more book before she passed away in September. Prince Andrew's removal from the Royal Lodge has caused King Charles a significant £360,000 difficulty. At the moment, Prince Andrew has a 75-year lease in place at Royal Lodge, a house with 30 rooms, including 7 bedrooms. As a result of the impending eviction of Prince Andrew from his residence in Royal Lodge, Windsor, King Charles IV may soon find himself in a huge £360,000 pickle. The 63-year-old and his ex-wife, Sarah Ferguson, moved into the house in 2003 and have resided there ever since. Up to her passing in 2002, the Queen Mother lived on the property. In his opinion piece for the Daily Mail, Ephraim Hardcastle writes that there are new signs that the king is changing his mind about evicting Andrew from Royal Lodge. If the king went forward with relocating Andrew from his current dwelling into the much smaller home of Frogmore Cottage, the former home of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, evicting Andrew would probably result in financial issues for the king. The king's annual payments to move into Frogmore Cottage would likely total £360,000. The king also has to deal with the issue of ending Andrew's present lease, because doing so would require the Crown estate to pay Andrew back. Because of the 75-year lease on Royal Lodge, Andrew is in charge of any renovations to the structure. Andrew can no longer afford to maintain Royal Lodge because the king cut his yearly allowance. According to friends of the royal, Andrew is looking for a meeting with the king to find a solution because the Duke is opposed to the thought of a downgrade. According to reports, Andrew is reportedly irritated that conversations are taking place between officials rather than with his older brother. It's said that Buckingham Palace has suggested Frogmore Cottage to him as a good substitute for the 30-bedroom home. That Prince Harry and Meghan Markle had been requested to vacate their residence was made public earlier this year. The Windsor, England, home with 5 bedrooms served as the couple's home base when they left the UK. The couple moved into Frogmore Cottage immediately after the birth of their son Archie in 2019 and lived there until 2020. The Prince and Princess of Wales and their 3 children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, are rumored to be considering Royal Lodge as their future residence. The 3 children of Prince William and Princess Kate presently reside at Adelaide Cottage after moving there last year. The 5-person family, whose kids attend Lambrook School, relocated to Windsor from London last fall. More Ofcom complaints from irate fans about coronation have been filed, raising the total to over 8,000. There have already been 137 more complaints about coronation weekend coverage. Since not everyone appreciated the festivities, more than 8,000 Ofcom complaints have been filed regarding King Charles' coronation. In a weekend filled with festivities, King Charles and Queen Camilla were formally crowned earlier this month at Westminster Abbey. According to statistics, 18.8 million viewers turned in to watch coverage of the coronation on the 11 networks that carried it. Who Edwards-led programs on BBC One attracted a peak audience of 13.4 million viewers. However, there have now been 137 more complaints against the coverage because of remarks made by the actress Adjoa Andoh. According to a statement from Ofcom to the Mirror, this was included in the previous 2 complaints reports, and the total number of complaints is 8,389. During a live broadcast on ITV, the Bridgerton actress offended viewers by calling the Buckingham Palace balcony terribly white. She stated that she didn't mean to upset anyone, and that she had not meant to offend anyone. "We have gone from the rich diversity of the Abbey to a horribly white balcony," she added during the show. Other grievances made reference to the continuous coverage of the coronation and Prince Andrew's presence at the occasion. On Coronation Day, ITV provided 6.5 hours of live, non-stop coverage on ITV1 and ITVX from 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. At 7:30 a.m., the BBC began its coverage, and in the afternoon, it aired specially curated programming. The coronation concert outside of Windsor Castle was broadcast live on Sunday night on BBC One, BBC iPlayer, BBC Radio 2, and BBC Sounds by the BBC. The only channel to treat the weekend differently was Channel 4, whose executives claimed they wanted to provide an escape from the pomp and ceremony elsewhere. The Andrew the Problem Prince special on Channel 4 on Coronation Day, which featured interviews with Emil Maitlis, the journalist responsible for the notorious Newsnight interview with the prince, was broadcast in advance of the weekend. Channel 4 exists to provide viewers with an alternative. So as the nation is engulfed by pomp, circumstance, and forelock-tubbing, we'll be offering a rather less reverent slate of programs, said Ian Katz, Chief Content Officer of the network. These programs include Frankie Boyle's Case Against the Monarchy and the Windsor's scabrous satirical take on the coronation. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any updates.